So welcome to Chair Yoga, and in today's class we're going to focus on this band, the girdle, front, sides and back. So it's a lower girdle area that's instrumental in our posture, holding us, supporting us. And it's also an area of the body that takes up a lot of stress during the day, whether we're sitting, moving, driving, snow shoveling, swimming. So spending time to strengthen it and stretch it is really, really important. Maybe we'll have a strap handy today and some blocks. And sit towards the edge of your chair. Sit towards the edge of your chair. So you're removing the support of the back of the chair. No, we're not lounging back here and just being supported. We sit forward and suddenly there's a core engagement and the pelvis starts to tilt forward, bringing us into an upright position. Head over shoulders, shoulders over hips, and then walk your knees so that the knees line up with the hips and the feet are below the knees. Parallel. Walk the feet back a little bit closer to the chair so that if you lean forward, you'd feel those strong leg muscles engage. And as you come back to vertical, you feel the leg muscles relax and the sit bones push down. Become aware of that dynamic. Lean forward, exhale. Feel how the legs ignite, feet activate, toes. The lower body thinks you're about to stand up. Slowly come back. The lower body relaxes. And we want the upper body to be upright and relaxed. So the arms dangle, the shoulders sag back, but the heart and the center of the body lifts up. It's like a telescopic arm that lifts up through the center of the body. Let's try that again. Activate. Lean forward. Body thinks it's about to stand, and then come back. Try that 2 or 3 more times. Now we're going to do something similar, except we're going to open the feet outwards. The feet are going to angle outwards. We call this a sumo squat. You'll feel a stretch sensation through the inner thighs. And for safety's sake at the moment, strut your arms against the legs. And do the same thing. Just come forward enough to feel, oh yeah, I feel the stretch sensation in the thighs, but I also feel my legs activating. And come back. 2 or 3 more times. So once again, the body is at a position where it thinks it could stand up here. In fact, some of you might even lean so far forward that you can feel your buttocks lift off the chair. And it's a nice discipline. When you come back down to the chair, you don't plop. You just ease your way down. And that's going to really work the legs and the core of the body. It's going to be a great strengthener. So whether you're coming off the chair or not, doesn't matter. You're getting the same activation. But over time, as that strengthens, you're going to want to come off the chair a little bit. And I tell many of my clients that really one of the most important things as we age is this ability to be able to stand and sit independently. Often we start to develop lazy habits of sitting and standing that rob these strong leg muscles and core muscles. Got a big bird going on. And then come back to center. Feet parallel. Shoulders roll back and down, palms up. And then some of the most important core exercises are to move the spine in 6 directions. So let's do that. The first one is to simply reach around to the back of the chair, grab the back of the chair, lift the chin and feel the back arch. If you experience pain in the low back here, you want to relax the arch. Don't lift the head quite so high. And then reach around in front of you. I like to think of it as you're hugging a big tree. You're circling your arms, fingertips touch, and you drop your head, and you feel this stretch right through the back area. The tailbone will be tucking right now. So the low back stretches out, the shoulder blades come apart, mid back stretches out, and as the head drops, the upper back and the neck stretch out. And then reach up. Alleluia. Reach behind the chair. Grab the chair within a relaxed way. And then arch the back. Look up. Bring the shoulders back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Hug the tree. Alleluia, lift up. So we've got these 4 positions. 1, you grab the chair, relax. Keep holding the chair, arch and look up. Hug the tree, and then alleluia. Keep going and see if you can merge the movements with your breathing. Traditionally in yoga we tend to exhale as we crunch and inhale as we alleluia and open up. So good back health is really a function of how often we move the spine. And in which directions we move the spine. Now the next time you come to Alleluia, we'll pause and we'll twist the spine left and right. So we simply turn to the right. The left hand crosses the midline of the body and anchors to the leg. The back arm just can work its way to the chair, bringing the back shoulder back. Notice how that feels. In the olden days when we drove cars, we had to look behind us, didn't we? We had to twist. I guess those days are gone. Inhale, lift up. Hallelujah. Exhale, turning to the other side. And just notice if there's any asymmetry between left and right. There usually is with twist. Hello, birds. And then we're going to alternate from side to side. Hallelujah, and then turn. Hallelujah is a breath in. The turn is a breath out. So these very simple movements are strengthening the core. So the muscles of the core include these lateral muscles that run down the side of the body. They include the abdominals, the obliques. They include the low back muscles. Next time we come to Hallelujah, we'll pause and then work on the obliques here, the muscles that lean us from side to side. So leaning to that left side. Oh, if that's too much, you can rest your hand on your head or even on your hip. Come up through center, Hallelujah. And then over to the other side. Can you feel as you lean, if you take the weight off the anchoring hand, it really encourages the core to hold you steady. So you can do it with two hands if you like. That adds a little more intensity, a little more demand on the core. Or you can use the hand to anchor you to support the core and gradually lean into it. So there's different ways to do this. Traditionally in yoga, we'd call this half moon pose. Now, if we're going to get a strong core, we're also going to support the low back. They are not mutually exclusive. They work together in conjunction. So spending time strengthening the core is supporting your low back. Exhale, release. And we want to release the pressure we've just put on the low back. So the low back has been working right now. Grab your knees and start to circle the torso about the hips. Now the bigger the circle, you're going to feel the low back stretch out as you come forward. You're going to feel the release and letting go in the low back after all that work. And also notice as you come forward how the legs activate, the feet activate. Why? Because the body thinks you're going to stand. When you bring your center of gravity forward, the legs take the load. Let's reverse direction. and then come up, widen the stance, sumo. So again, you get that stretch in the hips. Lean forward slightly so you feel that stretch accented. And then lean your elbows on the thighs. You can do some head rotations here. Imagine your nose is drawing a circle. Reverse direction. Now, if you have a block or something that you can rest between the feet at any level you like, I'm going to do a fairly high level, and rest your left hand on it. So you're pushing down between the feet onto the block or pillow or can of baked beans, whatever you're using. I'm going to try some work on the low back and the core here using the twist. So right hand comes to the hip and you bring the right shoulder back and look up towards the sky. You might even float that right hand up towards the sky. Can you feel that activate the core? This is big work for the core. Great work for the low back. Let's change sides. Right hand rests, left hand hip. Look as far as you can to that left side. And then raise that left hand. And see if you can manage your breathing here to be deep. Come back to center. We're going to change sides again. Slow breath. Smooth breath. There's a tendency when we come into twists that the breath gets a little choppy, a little shallow, a little fast. It's like the body goes into a little fight and flight. Change sides. So when you change your breathing, you change the impact on the nervous system. Come back to center. Now once again, with that support on the block, we're going to bend the elbows and lower the head towards the floor. Can you feel how that stretches open the hips, but it also releases the low back, and if you drop the head, it releases the upper back. Push down with the hands, straighten the arms so it releases the stretch. And then we're going to repeat. And at the same time, you can imagine you're doing push-ups. Elbows relaxed. Straighten the elbows. You do the push-up. Obviously, it's a modified variation of the push-up, but you're getting arm strength here and chest strength by doing this. Down. Up. Now over time you might find that you get down further and further. And you feel the stretch go deeper and deeper into the low back and hips. Let's do two more. Now to come out, we come out slowly, elbows to thighs. I do this for a number of reasons. One is it decreases the sudden change of position on the low back, so it lessens the likelihood of injury. But the other thing is sometimes we get a little dizzy when we come up like this, and it's just good to let the dizziness just settle before you come upright. Take the block to the side, walk the hands back, bring the legs to neutral, a few circles in each direction, and that low back should be feeling a little different. And the question is, what's been happening to our legs during all of this? Well, come to stillness. Because the knees have been bent, the muscles in the posterior chain of the legs have all been contracted. Now once they contract, they also pull on the low back. So let's take care of the legs. Extend both legs in front, toes curled back, and this time I want you to lean back into your chair. And as you curl the toes back, you'll feel those very powerful, strong calf muscles go, that feels good. Now this kind of stretch is also good to help relieve plantar fasciitis, because when the Achilles tightens and the arch of the foot collapses, we can get a lot of pain in the bottom of the foot. So stretching it back like this can be really good. In fact, I'm going to spend a little bit of time here on that stretch. So if you have a strap handy, grab a strap and hook up that left foot, lean back, and we can literally lean back with that same stretch, holding the foot with the strap. I like to massage the bottom of the foot by flossing it with the strap, giving the fascia in the foot a really nice massage. Because that fascia in the foot is related, is connected from the bottom of the foot right up through the back of the leg, right up through the back of the neck, back of the skull to the eyebrows. And releasing the tension in the bottom of the foot can increase your ability to forward fold by several inches. Take the strap into the left hand only, hold the chair for stability, and just open up that hip. Bring it back. Bend the right knee and rest your ankle over the thigh. Hold the bottom leg. Left hand on knee, right hand on ankle or foot, and start to lean forward again. Whew. And back. Now we're getting into a different stretch. It goes into the glutes, which connect to the low back. And I want you to play with that right foot. Bring it back a little closer in so it's not so far out. And I want you to imagine, what would it be like to come so far forward? You can even hold your chair here, come a long way forward, and imagine that you're trying to stand on that foot, that single foot in the figure four. And you can use your hands to support you here and come back down slowly. Now this moves towards quite an advanced balance pose in yoga, where you get the center of gravity over that foot far enough that you can lift your hands off the chair into a figure four balance. But when you come down, make sure the hands are there to guide you down slowly. And then release. Can you feel how much that can really work the strength of the standing leg? I can for sure. Ouch. All right, let's capture the other foot. So as many of you know who've done a lot of chair yoga with me, we can do some quite advanced poses on the chair. So I'm leaning back, toes curled back. I'm going to floss the foot. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, the sun's trying to get out here. Oh, that'd be nice. Here it comes. I should have a hat on. And then you're going to take the right hand and grab the strap this time and open up the hip to the right. Make sure that left hand is holding you nice and stable. Back slowly, crossing ankle over knee. You won't need this strap right now. Sit towards the edge of the chair and leaning forward. Feel the weight come into that standing foot. And also feel how the stretch releases the low back. So you could think of this as a variation of pigeon pose. Now work that standing foot, the left foot, back a little bit so that as you come forward you can hold the chair and you can bring your weight pretty much onto the standing foot in your hands and then come back down carefully. That's an option. That's an option. Otherwise, just keep leaning forward to get the stretch. And anyone who wants to try their balance here can also work on that component if you like. So we've got all these stages that you can grow into or practice. Whoop. Lack of balance there. And then slowly release. And notice how you feel. Let's do some circular orbits of the torso. Notice how the low back is going. Other direction. And release. So some more work on the core to open the hips. We're going to start by alternate hip openers. So rotate the left hip 90 degrees and then bring it back. Right hip 90 degrees and then bring it back. So it's a movement, left and right. What I'd like you to introduce is resistance. The way you add resistance is as you try to open the hip, your hand pushes against the opening, and as you close the hip, the hand pushes against the closing. So you're activating the core muscles to abduct and adduct the hips. Again, it's a strengthener. It strengthens the arms and the chest. Now the next time you open to that left side, pause and rotate your torso towards the left side totally. So you'll see that one of my legs is completely off the chair, one of my sit bones. So I can work that leg back behind me. I can relax it and bring the weight to the top of the foot, which gives the top of the foot a nice stretch. And then I can push back with the heel, push through the heel and onto the ball of the foot and the pads of the toes and give it a nice big stretch. Can you feel how the low back works here? When you push back, that low back is arching and working, contracting. And of course, this is the traditional position for Warrior One. The next time you push back, you can lift one arm or two arms. Feel that in the low back, and then to release the pressure in the low back, hold the position, but lean forward over that front leg and drop the head. And then slowly come back to neutral. I'm going to see if I have a little hat in my bag here. I might be lucky. No, not so lucky. Boy, the sun came out of nowhere. So I'm going to do my famous Lawrence of Arabia trick here. And create a headpiece. There you go, that'll work. All right, let's try the other side. Rotate, right hip, turn the torso, whoops. And once again, push back with that leg. And then drop the knee down towards the ground so you can push down onto the top of the foot, stretching it out. Try that a few times. It should feel good unless you have sensitivity on the top of the foot, and then you can put a towel or a blanket there. I got the nice soft grass here. Headpiece isn't working. Push back and hold, prepare for Warrior One. So you're pushing back to activate the back leg. Front leg is strong. You can lift one hand or both. And some of you can even come off your chair if you like. So strong work on that low back and core area to hold you stable as you come down and back to center. And once again, to reveal how much the low back worked, grab your knees and and come into those slow circular orbits. And you'll feel it. Oh, the low back's going, oh yeah. Other direction. And let's do one more big forward fold to really stretch out that low back. Sumo, elbows, block. In your own time, when you want to come to the block, you can. And then you can begin your slow descent, elbows bend, head drops. Straighten the arms, a few push-ups here. Go slowly here, so really enjoy the back, big deep stretch in the low back. The next time you straighten, keep that left hand on the block or the ground, right hand on the hip. Look up to the right, lift to the right. Just notice if this second set of twists feels a little easier on the back and the core. Change hands. Come down, elbows on thighs. Take your time to make sure you're not dizzy here. Walk the hands back, lean back, and stretch out those legs. Toes curled back. And once again, you should feel the relief in the calf muscles. Maybe not as pronounced as the first time, but it should be there to a degree. Prepare for some pranayama, some breath work. Find a comfortable position. Now I'm going to do something that I haven't done for a long time. Is I'm going to use the blocks behind my back so I can push back into the back of the chair with the blocks supporting me. And that keeps my position upright, nicely vertical. You can do the same with the cushion. You can put a cushion back there and then push your buttocks up against the base of the cushion. Take a moment to register your breathing. Notice how you're breathing. Start to breathe in through the nose, if you're not already. And breathe out through the nose. Deepen the breath. Slow the breath down. Let the breath relax and be easy. And bring both hands gently to the belly. Start to push the hands a little more firmly into your belly until you can feel the belly moving against your hands. As if you have a girdle on. I want you to keep pushing the hands into the belly until you can feel the belly expand as you breathe in. As you breathe in, you feel the belly push against the hands. And as you exhale, you feel the belly relax. And if you have a little more experience with breathing, as you breathe out, you can start to pull the navel back towards the spine. So you tighten the pelvic floor and squeeze the navel back. You empty a little more fully. You relax as you breathe in, but you press the hands and you feel the belly expand. If you can't feel the belly expand, just press a little more firmly with the hands. And as you breathe out, those who are doing the abdominal contraction are strengthening the core via the exhale. And when you strengthen the core via the exhale, it starts to slowly stretch out the low back on the exhale. So your spine is moving as well. As you breathe in and the belly expands, the low back arches, the tailbone lifts. And as you exhale and start to pull the navel back and tighten the pelvic floor, the low back stretches, the tailbone tucks. So you've turned your own breath into an abdominal strengthening, back stretching exercise, just from the way you breathe. And it's good to strengthen these breathing muscles deep down in the body, to get out of the habit of just breathing into the chest, the upper respiratory area. Relax the hands, relax the technique. Let the shoulders relax and just be there. Experience your own stillness, your own quiet. Bring your hands together at the chest in gratitude for your practice today. And grateful for each other's company from all over the place. So thank you for joining me. Lovely to see you.